Ever really thought about the food on your plate? Well, we're about to uncover some of the surprising and kind of weird truths hiding in plain sight. Okay, so some foods are just out there, right? I mean, spaghetti donuts? Yeah, we expect that to be a little unusual.
And then you've got dishes from other cultures that might seem strange to us, but are totally normal somewhere else. But you know what? The real surprises aren't always in some exotic food you've never heard of.
No, the real secrets are in the food you eat every day. The stuff in your kitchen. You think you know what's going on in there? Let's find out.
So we found this food myths quiz, and I thought it would be fun to go through it together. Let's see how many we can get right. I have a feeling some of the answers are going to be pretty shocking.
All right, let's kick things off with a big one. This is about a food that's supposedly a delicacy, but it could also, kill you.
So, true or false, there are restaurants in Japan serving a fish that can literally kill you if it's not prepped just right. I mean, that sounds like a spy movie plot, doesn't it? Is that for real?
The answer is, yep, it's absolutely true. And this isn't some urban legend. It's a real, popular, and expensive dish that people actively seek out. It's called fugu, which you might know as blowfish. So here's the deal. It's a huge delicacy in Japan, but parts of the fish contain deadly toxins. That's why chefs have to go through years of special training and get a license just to be able to serve it. Seriously, one tiny mistake, one wrong cut, and it's lethal. Talk about pressure cooking.
Okay, so that's a food that's obviously dangerous. But what about the stuff we think is obviously unhealthy? Let's switch gears and look at some nutrition myths. This is where it gets really interesting.
Let's start with this one. True or false? Eating chocolate is linked to an increase in heart disease. We've heard it our whole lives, right? Sweets are bad for you, especially for your heart. But is it really that simple?
And this is the battle, isn't it? It's always the chocolate bar versus the bowl of fruit, the treat versus the healthy choice. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the line between them is a lot blurrier than we've been led to believe?
Because the answer here is false. Yeah. And it's not just false, the truth is pretty much the complete opposite of what you'd think.
So here's the science behind it. Dark chocolate is loaded with something called antioxidants. And these are basically little bodyguards for your cells, protecting them from damage. So get this. Instead of causing heart disease, some studies show that dark chocolate, in moderation, might actually help reduce the risk. Wild, right?
Okay, let's try another one. True or false? Fresh vegetables are healthier than frozen vegetables. I mean, this one seems obvious. It's a total no-brainer. Fresh is always better, right? The name says it all. Or does it?
Well, here's where it gets tricky. That journey from the farm to your store, it matters a lot. Those fresh veggies might have been sitting on a truck for days, losing vitamins the entire time. But frozen veggies? They're usually picked and then frozen almost immediately, right at their peak. And that freezing process, it's like hitting a pause button, locking in all those vitamins and minerals.
So the answer is false. And that means next time you're in the freezer aisle, you don't have to feel guilty. In fact, depending on how long that fresh stuff has been traveling, the frozen option might actually be the more nutritious one. All right, let's move on. This next one is about a secret ingredient, something you have almost definitely eaten, probably hundreds of times, and you had no idea what it was.
Okay, so look at this bright red color. You see it everywhere, right? In yogurts, fruit juices, candy. It's that perfect, vibrant red. But have you ever stopped to wonder, where does that color actually come from? Brace yourself.
It comes from something called cochineal, or carmine. And what is that? It's a natural red dye made from the crushed, dried bodies of a specific kind of female insect. Yep, you heard me, bugs. And this isn't some weird new thing. People have been using it for centuries. Even the Aztecs used it. Okay, for our final challenge, let's get into the connection between your senses, specifically taste and smell. And trust me, this connection is way more powerful and frankly weirder than you might think.
So here's the question. True or false? Apples, potatoes, and onions all taste the same if you eat them while holding your nose. Now that just sounds crazy, right? An apple and an onion, they're complete opposites. There's no way you could mix them up just by plugging your nose. Or could you?
Well, believe it or not, it's true. It turns out that most of what we think of as flavor actually comes from our sense of smell. Your tongue is pretty basic. It just gets sweet, salty, sour, bitter. All the complex stuff, the thing that makes an apple taste like an apple and not an onion, that's almost all aroma. So if you take away the smell, Your brain gets really confused. So, wow, we've been through quite a bit here. After busting all these myths, what's the big takeaway? What have we really learned about the food we eat every day?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that our food is just packed with secrets. We've got delicacies that are a dangerous thrill, healthy foods that aren't always what they seem. I mean, who knew dark chocolate and frozen veggies could be so good for you? We learned that red candy might be colored with insects, and that your nose is basically in charge of flavor, not your tongue. It just proves that if you get a little curious about what's on your plate, you can find some absolutely incredible stuff.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on.
So now that you know all this, what's the secret hiding in your lunch today? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Now go on, take a closer look at your plate. Stay curious.